Hey folks, this is ioEther and we're back with some more World of Tanks. As you can see, this is us, Trav. We're just gonna go with Kabasa, because I'm sorry, sir. That first name is not gonna go through. Ostravska? This is about the best I'm gonna do. He's in his T-50. That's a tier 5 game on El Hoof. We've been doing a lot of top tiers, a lot of high tiers lately. So I figured why not, let's mix it up and do something small as the Saturday, so if you haven't figured out my my recording schedule, Saturday tends to be the best game of the week as far as I'm concerned. And so I did want to put a really exciting Go tier game as this week's top tier game. Or this week's highest, most exciting game? Whatever. Climax game is probably it. But anyways, I'm rambling on instead of doing what should be doing to get this game underway. So before we get started, this is a tier 5 light tank. It used to be one of the top tier light tanks in the game, and then they murdered it in so many ways, and now it is just mediocre. So I'm kind of interested to see what he can do with this thing. Also, you should note that. Oh, I forget what else I was gonna say. Oh, he doesn't have any HE shells. That could be a problem later on. Especially considering the fact that this thing carries 150 rounds. You have a few for HE if you want some. You should be carrying some HE. I understand that Kabasa is an amazing player, and so he can decide for himself whether or not he's going to carry HE, but, for the newer players, you should be carrying some HE. Anyways, before we get started, as always, if you like this kind of video and you think that it deserves the MVP for the week, which is the best player in the community's mind for the week, then go ahead and hit that like button. If you think that if you like this kind of content, please feel free to subscribe and hit the little notification bell so you actually get my content. And all things, thank the Patreons, for they are awesome, and without them a lot of this stuff wouldn't be possible. Oh, that's a much more aggressive position than I thought he was going to take. I thought he was going to zip over and park up here, or maybe come back around and park up there. This is not the position I would have taken, but that's not doesn't mean it's a bad position. It just means it's not where I would have been in. For a second there, I forgot to switch to fixed camera mode. I was like, oh, I wonder why he's doing what he's looking around weird ways. Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong camera mode. Oops. Well, I'm in the right camera mode now. Come on, VK, yep. Nice job. So, yeah, it's gonna take a while to peck these guys down, as you can tell. This gun does not do all that much in alpha. But he does get a bunch of spine damage because the VK just wandered out, got himself lit, and then tried to pull back. But our artillery had other ideas. Now, without any of the enemies pushing up on this flank, Kabasa has decided that it's his duty to be over here. And it's actually not a bad plan, assuming he doesn't get himself caught. Ooh, almost getting hit by the experimental, pulling a nice handbrake turn so he can come back around. He's trying to get under the gun? No, actually he's in fact just going to leave. He spots a Matilda and shoots the cliff instead. And unfortunately doesn't get any shots in on the Matilda. But he's going to have to get back out of here because that experimental, if it decides to come this way, is going to be able to squish him like a little tiny bug if he's not really careful about how he engages it. Which is why he gets some speed before he comes back around here. Turns out the experimental's not here, so he just comes up to the second divot, I guess. Looks like he was lit at some point, and or maybe he was still lit from before. And gets hit by the experimental and artillery. That's unfortunate. Now he is trying to take out his DW2, but if he gets hit by this experimental again, he's going to vanish in a puff of death. Ooh, that little bit of cliff running. Obviously not intentional, but it looked cool anyway. So our team apparently was not paying attention for a while there. While the experimental was looking at us, and our team was just waiting around for this thing to kill us before they decided to engage it. Which is why Kobasa had which is why it had so many shots at Kobasa, is what I was trying to say. Because if the team had been engaging on the experimental, as soon as they could, then they would have killed it long before it had the opportunity to fire a second shot towards us. Obviously, it didn't get a second shot at us, but it had that opportunity if it could have reloaded just a little bit faster. But no, they had instead were just going to decide to sit around and wait. And so, actually, at this point in time, we're losing quite badly. Oh. And we brought one back, and then we lost one at the same time. And our team is quite scattered right now. That T-95, type 95 over here, counted as a dead tank for us, just about as useful. So it's kind of like a 3 on a lot more than that. 3 on 6, maybe? Nope. 3 on 8? Is that what it is right now? Basically a 3 on 8. Ooh, nice shot. And he gets the kill. He's on 2 kills. And now he's going to start moving towards the other side of the map. Our experimental has died along with our Type 95 because it was extremely useful. And so now these guys are going to hopefully stick together and move on towards... Oops. That is an STRV. Now there's an STRV caught in the open. You can see the way that Kabas is backing up as he's trying to fire. So he's taking the opportunity to fire, and then he backs up, and then he fires, and then he backs up. And that way he gets to cover in a fairly reasonable amount of time. But he also puts enough shells downrange to keep the STRV wanting to be more about ducking, covering, than about trying to kill him. Also, the STRV's allies don't necessarily get to shoot at him as long because he took the opportunity to try and kill it as fast as possible while still getting cover in a decent amount of time. And so now he's looking for the Matilda, the M3 Lee, the T-28E, and those are really the things that are going to top his list of things he needs to find. Because if you can find those 3 things and poke their eyes out, then he can worry about killing the artillery. Looks like the Matilda does not know where he is, though I thought for a second it had spotted us. No, but obviously, no. I guess it did know where we were. It just couldn't hit us somehow. I don't understand how. That gun fires faster than our gun does. So how could it... I don't know. I don't understand. But enemy artillery showed us that we were lit. Unfortunately for it couldn't land a shell anywhere near us. It couldn't actually slow us down at all. I'm sorry for the yawn, by the way. We're just gonna push forward, looking for the thingy. There's still an M3 Lee that was never spotted, so that's a bit of an issue. Oh, hi. We still have artillery, so we don't necessarily need to be able to actually kill these guys in order to kill them. We can possibly just corner them, keep them in one position, and then the artillery can finish the job. Unfortunately, our artillery just died. I was like, wait, did we kill their T-28? No, their T-28 killed our M41. Well, so much for the artillery doing the cleanup job. It looks like we're back down to trying to get all the kills. There's 4 enemies left, We have 4 kills, so that's a Radley Walters, assuming that he manages to pull it off, and our friendly doesn't end up stealing one. Though the fact that he's made to this point probably means that he deserves a kill if he gets to the point where he can get a kill. So at this point, Kabasa is just trying to throw off the enemies. He's by knowing he was lit and then going in a certain direction until he knows he's not lit anymore, and then spinning around. He makes sure in their minds that he's going to continue in their direction, assuming they're anywhere that they're halfway decent players who can grasp the map. Then when he first started moving in this direction, when they lose sight of him, they're just going to assume he's going to continue moving in this direction, and they're going to be looking for him to come out about here somewhere. Obviously, that's not where he is because he knows how to double back and make people think that he's going somewhere else. And he's still looking for the M3 lead. Unfortunately, our T-20 has found the M3 lead, and we know exactly where it is. And now, at this point, the only thing Kabasa can be looking for is the artillery. And the artillery probably isn't all that far away. Oh, yeah, there is the which I ain't gonna bother trying to pronounce any more than that, because that's close enough. Fine. Now there is an M37 around here somewhere, and we weren't actually lit, I don't think. So the enemy knows that something is around here. It may not be able to identify exactly where. Well, I mean, now it will. The left is actually aiming towards us. He's wanting to get a shot off, but thankfully he decided to use artillery view instead of just auto aiming onto us and then trying to shotgun us. Helpful things artillery does from time to time. Ooh, at second artillery, going ahead and getting behind cover. This is just to cover himself from the enemy medium tanks. We already know that he is killed. Or the enemy artillery is fired, so it's not going to reload in time, and so we're just gonna speed things up a little bit because otherwise it's going to be a while. He's going to go hunt down the enemy T-28 and the enemy M3 lead. Now he knows where the M3 lead was last spotted, and that is not where I expected him to be. So the M3 lead has a significant disadvantage with his gun on the one side of the tank, and so Kabasa is just going to circle him all the way around and then leave by the most convenient exit, coming back into solid cover. So now unfortunately we don't know where the T-28 is. Oh, yes we do. The T-28 is behind us, and he has no solid cover to put between himself and the T-28. So he sprints for some, and it looks like he's not going to quite make it there before the T-28 comes around the corner. And now it's just a battle of who gets luckiest soonest. T-28 pulling out into the open, maybe a mistake for a T-28. As Kabasa fires a shot on the move, does connect, and now he's hiding behind a bush. And he's just going to go ahead and fire a shot with the T-28. While in complete cover. Good job, sir. Well done. This was a great job. The only regret he has for this game is he did want 10 kills. But unfortunately, earlier on in the game, he wasn't quite fast enough with some of those trigger pulls to secure the final kill. But this could have been pulls, and it was a very awesome Radley Walters. So thank you so much, sir. And we're going to jump over and see what his battle results were. Master Badge, Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Radley Walters, Demetrius? Wait, 3 artillery. I guess he did. I didn't even notice the fact that he actually... Oh yeah, right. I forgot we killed the Strumpanzer. That was so early on that it just kind of it went right past me. My brain's just like, there's a Pascucci's up there. No, it's a Demetrius? Yeah. A high caliber and a top gun. He also manages to pick up Look at that. That is awesome. The rest of our team did nothing. 500 damage in a tier 5 game is not horrible. But the rest of the team didn't do anything. Not even artillery did anything. How do you not do damage as artillery in a tier 5 game? It's not like these guys were moving really fast. This really was a pick up and drag the team across the finish line kind of day. Because if Kabasa hadn't, this game would have been a total defeat. Without a shred of doubt in my mind. Wow. Well done, sir. Thank you so much for sending this in. This was actually a lot of fun to watch. I enjoyed the hand rate turns the most, and I'll tell you why. Because back in the day when I used to drive this thing, and it had a decent engine in it, this was my tank for drifting. And I would drift literally around corners and around tanks. And when you were drifting, nobody could hit you because you weren't moving in a predictable line. You weren't turning the way they expected you to turn. And you definitely weren't moving in the direction you looked like you should be moving in. And it was glorious. However, once they took the engine out of this thing no longer drifts. And it makes me very, very sad. But this game shows this thing still has some potential, even if it's not nearly as awesome as it used to be. Thank you so much, Kabasa, for sending this in. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you think this deserves the MVP for the week, then please do hit that like button. If you think that you like to see more of this kind of content, please subscribe. And all things, thank the Patrons, who are amazing. And without them, I wouldn't be able to do half the stuff I can do. So, thank you, everybody. If you want to become a Patron, if you made that decision, that'd be amazing. For as little as $1 a day, you can get some perks and some cool stuff, and you'd be helping out quite a bit. Or if you want to invest a little bit more, $5 will get you into everything where I do the patrons' names in it. XCOM, for instance, Wow, me in English today. XCOM, for instance, I think is what I was trying to say. And some other stuff that I don't remember right now. I'm thinking about picking up some other games where I can definitely put patrons and subscribers' names in them if you guys want. So we'll get into that later on. For now, I'm just going to wrap this up before we hit 20 minutes. So I'll see you all there. Thank you so much for watching and have a great night. This ioEther out.